What should I add here? Well, let me make some additional points and take up some points which have already been alluded to. First of all, I want to say we need to focus on technology. The world is not static, it's extremely dynamic. And climate policy shapes an important technology race. If you look at energy technologies, we are even living in a revolution. Look at the cost development on the slide. Cost of key technologies have dropped dramatically only since 2010 by more than 80% for solar PV, by more than 45% for onshore wind, and by an insane 90% for lithium-ion batteries. It was remarkable. Development has constantly been misperceived. We know the cost will continue to fall. In fact, the 2020s, I predict that, will be one of the most disruptive decades in the history of energy industry. None of this means that policy is unimportant. It's quite the opposite. In all cases in the past, policy has actually kicked off and then accelerated development. The early electric cars were built to comply with clean air policy in California. Norway has promoted electric cars via its tax policy. No major environmental policy has been solved without a policy. No environmental problem has been solved without a policy. Why should these policies now not be beneficial when there are so many economic opportunities? United States, EU, China, they have basically confirmed their ambitions. Is it now wise to bet against this policy? Is it wise to speculate on policy failure, to be lagging in technology? Rather not. Investments in conventional energy and fossil companies have shown a very bad performance in the last years. Moreover, damages and impact of emissions have been underestimated by prominent economic models. This is what you see on the right-hand side. We see a significant difference between natural science models in red and the prominent DICE model from economics, the single line. There is a big distance, as you can see. This shows that the benefits of climate policy have been underestimated. So when climate effects are in fact bigger, the reduction is of course more beneficial. Now, what about development? We have calculated development on the stringent climate policy. When we aim, say, at the net zero in 2050, we have calculated development of the world economy on the stringent climate policy, which is marked in green. The business as usual is presented in light brown. It would mean a world without any climate change. So obviously this is just from comparison. I show it only to make clear how small the economic impact is of a stringent climate policy on a global level. Without the climate change, we would have an annual growth rate of 3%, with stringent climate policies 2.75%. So the difference is very small. It's only 0.25 percentage points. And it's actually very conservative. It could even be smaller. And this is only happening during the transition to a clean economy. So the economic growth is always positive with a flexible market economy. If you do it wisely, the development is just slightly delayed. The lower red path shows development if you reduced all current economic activities proportionally. This is neither needed nor very wise. It's not a very smart way of proceeding, even if it's sometimes advocated. It's more like the shock thing we did in the pandemic. So this would lead us into degrowth. This is the red area. Lower wages, lower incomes, less health provision. This is neither needed nor broadly supported, especially in less developed countries, but not only there. On the right-hand side of the slide talks about other benefits of the policy. And one of the most prominent, often forgotten, is health. So air pollution is one of the greatest environmental risks to health, and it's parallel to burning fossil fuels. Air pollution causes 7 million premature deaths a year, and there's only mortality. There is also morbidity effects. Exposure to polluted air in cities is like smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. This needs to be addressed. Climate policy is very effective in this respect. Then we have noise reduction, domestic job and income creation, lower CO2 exposure. These all come as additional benefits of climate policy. To sum up, stringent climate policy has a favorable cost-benefit ratio. However, this does not mean that its implementation in real politics is easy, rather the opposite. There is ample incentive for free riding. In addition, there are complex and long-run issues which are usually not well understood and which are difficult to discuss. So we still have to walk a very rocky road. Thank you.